what they're asking for us to do is like beyond God's work. I don't even know how it's going to be possible, how we're going to do this. Treating patients that are severely sick on vents, they're on machines that we've never seen, and that experienced nurses in the ICU have a difficult time with these machines. We're given 1 week, basically, to learn. As an American, born and raised in Queens and living in this country, it is a shame that our government can't get us the supplies that we need.
Another 500 people here in New York City have died in the last 48 hours due to coronavirus, while hospitals are at their max.
When you walk in, all these patients are lined up like one after the other. I felt like I was in a war zone and a bomb went off, and all these patients were shipped in and they were just put right next to each other, one against each other. There's no curtain to cover them. Literally, they're all right next to each other. There was an 18-year-old that was positive and vented, became brain dead. So the doctors need the vent. So they called his mother. They explained that we got to pull the plug. Mother said, please, no, don't pull the plug. Just put the phone next to him. He'll hear me and he'll wake up. Like, where does that put all of us? Like, what do you say to that? To say you die from COVID is a nice way to say what really happened to you. These people come in, first of all, you're like drowning. You can't breathe. No matter how much oxygen we're giving you, you can't breathe. Because of this virus, what it does to their GI system, their gastrointestinal system, it makes them have diarrhea where it's pouring out, like it's like liquid. And what ends up happening is if you don't put a rectal tube in, these people are like sitting in their stool. You get paralyzed, you get intubated, you're literally it's like handcuffs, but it's called restraints because we don't want you to try to pull out your tube and kill yourself. We have to restrain you. So you're restrained and you have a tube down your throat and you have bed sores on your back and then you're sedated. So you're sleeping, but you're probably feeling this pain the whole entire time you're sleeping. It doesn't go away. You may be just sleeping, but it's there. You wake up, you're disoriented. You don't really know what's happening. This is what you see when you wake up. There's nothing around. You could turn your head. You see another patient who looks like you. All you see, the people that are coming in, are my eyes. And every time I come in, when they start to wake up, I have to remind them, like, listen, you have a tube down your throat, it's helping you breathe, you got COVID. And the most heartbreaking things about that is that when these patients start to wake up and they're disoriented, some of them kind of understand what's going on and they're just crying, they're just bawling, and they don't want you to leave. Like they're still handcuffed to the bed, they will hold your hand. They don't want you to leave the room. I think one of the toughest moments for me was preparing this one patient to see his daughters. This was a single father who might have been in his 50s, who had two daughters that I think one might have been my age and the other one was like 20 years old. So preparing the room for them to see their father, I had to make like a barrier between him and the other patient that was in the room so they could have privacy. So we literally got like 2 IV poles and tied a sheet and kind of just put it in between them just so the family members could have privacy and tell their dad that they love him, or it might have even been their goodbye. And as I did this, the side of the room had all the pictures of them, and messages saying, we love you, Dad, we're praying you're gonna make it. Putting the barrier in and seeing that, and it broke my heart. because you just think, like, God forbid, like, what would you do if this was your father that you had to say goodbye to, who was with a tube down their throat, you know, their eyes are closed, you know, I don't even know what's the last thing you said to them, you know? When they arrived, I said hi, you know, I introduced myself, I fixed their PPE, I made sure that everything was secure before they went in. And just looking into their eyes and talking to them and explaining what they're gonna see and what the outcome might be, I think that might have been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. For the most part, I feel okay, but I do have my times where I'm very upset. I could just be sitting here just like this, and I'll just start crying, and I don't understand why. So for anyone who is struggling, please, I advise you, please go speak to somebody. It will only help. What we went through is not normal, and what we're going through is not normal, and there has to be a healthy way to process everything. It's not gonna solve all your problems, but it'll just help you with your days and moving forward for your future.
COVID-19 is still a real threat. We're still battling that. That is going better than it has ever gone in New York.
A landmark day here in New York. After nearly 3 months of stay-at-home orders, the city is entering phase 1 of reopening.
God bless the nurses and the doctors and the essential workers and the frontline workers, because they saved hundreds of thousands of lives.
The walls that they created in 3 days to make our recovery rooms, ICU, they're still up. But other than that, it's been okay. Like, they don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know if a second wave is coming, and it's our way of preparing if it does happen.